listeners, welcome to our science vlog. Have you ever wondered why the ground suddenly shakes during an earthquake, or why some places experience stronger earthquakes than others? Today, we are going to discover how movements along faults generate earthquakes. By the end of this vlog, you will understand what faults are, how tectonic plates move, and why this movement causes earthquakes. So stay tuned and let's explore. Imagine sitting quietly in your classroom and suddenly the chairs began to shake and the floor starts moving. Earthquakes happen anytime and anywhere, often daily, when stress built up by moving tectonic plates causes underground rock to break and slip along a fault. They release stored energy and seismic waves, usually occurring along plate boundaries or faults in the crust, ranging the shallow depths to 700 km deep. These movements occur along cracks in the earth called faults. But how exactly does this happen? Let's find out. How movement generates earthquakes. Let's make it simple. Think of rubbing your hands together very hard. As you can see in the photo, at first they resist movement because of friction, but when enough force is applied, they suddenly slide. The same thing happens along faults underground. The tectonic plates keep moving, pressure increases, and eventually the rocks suddenly slip. This process releases a huge amount of energy that travels through the earth. These energy waves cause the ground to shake. The point inside the earth where the earthquake begins is called the focus. The point directly above it on the earth's surface is called the epicenter. Usually, the strongest shaking is felt near the epicenter. So next, what is vault? A vault is a crack or break in the Earth's crust where rocks move. The Earth's crust is divided into large pieces called tectonic plates. These plates are constantly moving, although very slowly. Sometimes the plates push against each other, pull apart, or slide past each other. Because of friction, the rocks along the vault can get stuck. As the plates continue moving, pressure builds up. When the pressure becomes too strong, the rocks suddenly break and move. This sudden movement releases energy in the form of seismic waves, and that is what we feel as an earthquake.
Earthquakes are associated with faults. When a fault suddenly moves, an earthquake occurs. A fault is a break in the Earth's crust, and along the break, significant movement has taken place. The word break refers to a crack in the ground, while crust refers to the outermost layer of the earth. We live on the surface of the crust, and significant movement means that the rocks have been displaced or shifted considerably.
So next, we have types of vault movements: normal vault, reverse vault, strike-slip vault. Normal vault, a deep slip vault in which the block above the vault has moved downward relative to the block below. This type of vaulting occurs in response to extension and is often observed in the western United States basin and range province and along oceanic ridge systems. Reverse vault. In a reverse vault, the block above the vault moves up relative to the block below the vault. This vault motion is caused by compressional forces and results in shortening. A reverse vault is called a thrust vault if the tip of the vault plane is small. Strike-slip vault. Strike-slip vault are vertical or nearly vertical fractures where the blocks have mostly moved horizontally. If the block opposite an observer looking across the vault moves to the right, the slip style is termed right lateral. If the block moves to the left, the motion is termed left lateral. So let's review. Earthquakes happen because tectonic plates move along faults in the Earth's crust. Pressure builds up due to friction, and when the rocks suddenly move, energy is released as seismic waves. These waves cause the ground to shake. Understanding earthquakes help us become more prepared and aware of natural hazards. That's all for today's science vlog. I hope you learned something new about how movements along faults generate earthquakes. Don't forget to like, share, and continue exploring the wonder of science. See you in our next lesson. Goodbye, everyone!